Hello, everybody. I wanted to give you a brief lecture on Chapter 5, Operating Revenues. Third-party payment, some of this information is going to be almost like a reminder to you from HMT 210 and 212. It gets into talking about the different payers and managed care. You guys just review this quickly because you guys should remember this from, like I said, 210, 212. What I want to lecture you guys on is the method of payments and how you want to get your revenue, but you want to be able to break even as a business. Method of payments, guys, is charges minus a discount, cost, per diem rate, and per diagnosis. So charges, guys, a medical provider charges everybody the same charge, whether it be for a diagnosis code or for a visit. When a provider signs a contract with a managed care organization, they usually take a discount, like Blue Cross and Blue Shield will pay at 80%, but then you have to write off the 20%. Same with Medicaid and Medicare, they usually pay at 80%, and then you have to write off the 20%. In a hospital setting, they normally charge you per day, and then some places it's per diagnosis. On page 106, they get into capitated prices. This is where a provider say, no matter what you do for the patient, I'm paying you $700 for this patient for a year. So that's part of that capitated price. On page 107, it gets into bad debt and charity care. This is where this is written off. You will not receive any revenue from anyone. Most of the time, healthcare providers do this to receive breaks from the state when it comes to taxes and stuff, but they do community work. On page 108, guys, it gets into what I want you guys to do. It's called cost shifting, and that means sharing the cost with people who pay at 100%, or I should say businesses who pay at 100% and those who don't. Cost sharing is a practice of transferring costs to some payers to offset losses from other payers. So what I want you to do, guys, if you'll turn over to page 111, and you'll see a cost shifting, cost cutting problem. For the first week from the 18th to the 25th, we're going to do cost shifting, and then the week after that, we're going to do cost cutting problem. So hopefully this will help you guys get this problem, and you can take your time on it. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. The homework problem I give you is going to match exactly what's on page 111 and 112. So I need you to follow those steps to get the assignment correct. So at the top of the table, you'll see the breakdown of the insurance companies that are payers for this practice. And what they determined, out of the 100 patients that they see, they have 30 Medicare patients who pay at $850 per diagnosis, 20 Medicaid patients who pay at $900 per diagnosis, 15 managed care patients who pay charges minus an 80%. That means they only get an 80% of every dollar they charge. You've got 15 managed care patients who pay at $700 per prescriber per year. That's that capitated. That's all they're going to pay. 5 private insurance payers who pay at 100%. 5 self-pay payers who pay at 100%, and the last 2 is bad debt and charity care, so you will not receive any reimbursement for that. What ABC, that's this healthcare organization, determined it costs them $1,000 per patient to provide care. So if you go to step 1, this is going to be your calculations, and you're going to set your homework up the same way. You're going to put your financial classes, the number of patients, which is at the top. Your cost is going to be that 30 times 1,000 is going to give you 30,000. Your charges are going to be the same thing. We just said it's $1,000 per patient. Now, the collections is going to be different. What you're going to do is you're going to take your 30 patients times $850. If you calculate that, you're going to get $25,500. Well, if you go over to profit, if you subtract $25,000 from 500 from 30,000, you're going to be in a negative of 4,500. This is what you do for each one of those payers. So this is going to be your first step. And then I need you to total up your columns. So if you see on page 111, you got a negative 24,000. So that means we're in the hole, and we need to figure out how can we shift this cost to other payers so we can get this balance up to a positive. If you turn over to page 112, guys, this is where you're actually going to do step 2. You're going to calculate the charge necessary to recover ABC's cost by dividing the loss by the number of patients who will pay an increased charge or a portion thereafter, and then add the cost per patient to the answer. So that 24,000 came from your total on page 111. So what you're doing is you're going to pick your 3 payers. It doesn't matter what the charge is. This is what they'll pay at that charge rate. You've got 15 managed care patients who will pay at 80%, plus 5 private pay, plus 5 self-pay. So If you take 5 times 0.80, it's going to give you 12. You do 12 plus 5 plus 5, you're going to get 22. So you're going to divide that 24,000 by 22. It's going to equal $1,091. Well, up at the top, it said you needed to add another $1,000. So if we add our 1,091 to their 1,000, your new charge for everybody to break even in the business is going to be $2,091. So step 3, you need to take, again, your financial classes, the number of patients you have. Your costs are not going to change. We already said the cost is going to be $1,000. Your charges, though, are going to be different because we're trying to make the charges to balance out. So that's $62,730. If you take 2,091 times the 30 patients you have, then your calculation should come out to be $62,730. Now my collection rate is going to stay the same because I only get $850. So I need to take that 30 times that 850, and that's going to be my collections. Well, the charges don't make a difference when it comes to the cost and collections because the cost is what it costs the business to do business. So you're going to take your 30,000 minus your 25,500. It's still going to give you a negative 4,500. The charges is just trying to bump it up for those who pay, not at a percentage or a discount, so they'll help everybody else balance it out. So the second will be the same thing. Medicaid, you got 20 patients, 1,000, your cost is 20,000. If you take 20 times 2,091, you should get 41,820. And then I'm going to come over here to collections because Medicaid, if you turn back to page 111, says they only pay $900. So if I take 20 times 900, it should give me 18,000. And then I'm going to take my collections and subtract it from my cost. It's going to be a negative 2. You're going to do this for each payer, and then at the bottom you're going to get a 2. So this right here is called cost shifting, and that's where we're going to stop. Your homework, guys, is going to be on page 119. I want you to, at the top it says cost shifting self-quiz problem. That's the one I want you to do. If you have any questions, you can give me a call or you can email me. Thank you and have a great day.